sensitive or older or whatever the situation is, you can alleviate the pressure underneath the arms. One of the easiest things to do is to sit and swing. Okay, so you just pull the front edge down and put it underneath your butt. And then have it underneath the arms still, so you can do some of the postures like this. So this, of course, would be the beginner.
Yeah.
You know? This is for people who can't handle this much pressure, but they can still do a little bit of strengthening that way. Okay, so if you try to spread the swing out under the arms, it's just going to keep bunching up. And that's usually what people do. You can stay there and try some things. But they're here and they'll start doing this and try to like wrestle it wider.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. The swing likes to stay bunched up.
Yeah.
So it's going to stay bunched up under the arms. And I suggest if that bothers them, they use the forearm press and lean back. That's the best thing to do. Okay? Now, as I do work with a lot of older people or with people with injuries, I will let them sit in the swing, and then they can do some of the poses from here. So, for example, if we were going to go into our twists, you just make sure, it's enough under their butt that they could do some variations. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more of an elementary sequence, right? But you can do some of the variations like this and just play with it in the space. Obviously, this is a lot easier, right? This is as far as some people want to go with it, which is okay too, If you do any of the lunges, it's going to slide off. So in the lunges, they can just come up and hold on like this. So if they're holding onto the swing, there's less pressure. Okay. So just play with it until you get to the place where they can hang. Okay. Right? Because literally every person is going to be different, and I just tell them to stick with it, and it gets easier. Because it is going to start to shift their posturing. So even though it's uncomfortable, it's actually helping their neck and shoulders. Because we want the upper part of the pectorals to lift, and the back of the wings to pull down. Okay, that's the goal. So that will be intense for some people at first, because they're so hunched over, and there's a lot of heart protection that's happening. And so when that starts to open, it can be quite vulnerable for some people. So that's really what's going on in the show. You can't really tell them that when they're like, fuck you. So like, exactly. Okay, so let's come back into our sumo squat to transition into our forward folds. The first forward fold is very simple. With our legs wide, we're going to start to bend. So we can also come into this through our angel wings. So let's just practice that one. So feet together. I'm just backing up a pose. So we bring the arms overhead, bring them out wide, swing forward, angel wings, right? And then we can shift the hips back. So either from sumo squat or from angel wings, we come into our wide straddle forward fold. Heels turn out, toes turn in, and then hook with the elbows. Okay? So first thing we want to do is just shift from side to side. Right? So we're just letting our body weight drop. But remember, we have that long pillar that rides the same distance as the spine. So the pillar of light goes from the tailbone to the crown of the head. It's like a straw. We don't want to keep the straw. So we keep a nice flat back. That means the heart's pointing down towards the ground, head is in line with the body. And our gaze is tracing the semicircular shape of the mat. So I like to use the round mats because it makes a huge difference in moving us out of the linear movements, out of the box, right? And it helps us get into the spherical nature of the body. So every cell in the body is round, right? Every cell is a ball. And we're made up of trillions of cells, so we're actually spherical in nature. We're not flat. So when we move linearly, we're losing a dimension. So this really helps us open it up. So we basically just want to press the sit bones away from one another. So see if you can find that. So push into the outer edges of the feet, coming through neutral. Okay, we're slightly engaged in our core. So we're going to do the same side. So right hand finds the ground, right underneath the heart. Pulling down strongly with the left elbow, lift and twist simultaneously. So we're wringing out our spine, looking up towards the sky. If at any point that's too much for the neck, just look down towards your fingertips.
So the hand is by your shoulder?
That's right. So we're pulling the, like I usually make a fist to accentuate the engagement, and then pull down as strong as you can. Yeah, good. So inhale, lengthen. We're going to look forward. We straighten the left arm, let the swing find the hand find the swing. And then we're going to bring it overhead. So when we bring it overhead, it has an X in it. We thread both hands through. So now that we have both hands through, we're dropping the chest a lot, and we're just hanging out. So here, this might be too much on the shoulders, and you can always bend the elbows. It's a big extension through the underbelly of the arms. But if you can, stay engaged, and then inhale, lift, and press all the way out. Only use your arms. Exhale, come down nice and slow. So I'm just going to show you from the other direction, just for our video friends. Okay, so we drop our chest completely, and then we inhale and lift and press, press, press all the way up. Exhale, coming back down nice and slow. Good. So on the inhale, we start to lift the chest using the arms. See if you really press. Good, good alignment. Then you'll notice how much harder it is. And then coming back down. Good. So again, inhale and press and lift. Exhale, back down and drop. And then what we do is we inhale, we press all the way up to stand, right? So we use our arms, we come to stand, then we're going to take the opposite arm on top. So left arm on top, we thread it through, and then we drop down. So when we drop down, let's do the other side. Let's do the right side. Okay? So when we come back down, left hand is in the center of the mat. We pull down strongly with the right arm. So I make a fist, just to create that engagement. And then I'm going to twist and look up towards the right. Okay? So as I'm twisting, I'm bringing out the whole length of the spine. So at any point you can look down to give the neck a break. If you can, look up towards the sky and keep that long line twisting on axis, I call it. So it's an axis, kind of like a bar.
Yeah.
And then you twist along that, and that's what really, this is like replacing the chiropractor, basically. It'll release any sort of adjustment that needs to happen in the spine.
The bottom hand is directly below your shoulders, like belly sat.
Under the heart.
Under the heart.
That's a good measurement, right? Directly under the heart. And then I'm going to straighten the top arm, right hand straightens, swing it overhead, and now we're going to engage the triceps. So now the elbows bend. I'm going to clasp with both hands. Okay, so we pause here. So this might be as far as some people go. You can shift the hips a little from side to side too. And then to do the more dynamic strengthening, we're going to just use our arms to lift. So straighten the arms as you come up. Right? Pause at the top, and then exhale, come down. As you come down, you bend the elbows. Hang the heart at the bottom. Take a breath. Inhale, press, 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 press. Come on up. Really good. How does that feel? Good. Exhale, back down. Good. So again, I was mentioning that we do these poses to get into some of the acrobatic moves.
Good.
So we're going to learn how to use the arms to lift the torso when we're in the air. So it comes in handy for superfly snippet.
So how do you tell when someone's not using their arms?
They'll go like this.
It's
like, well, you can just tell their arms aren't doing anything. Their back is doing all the work. And just try it. Just use your back to come up. Right. Yeah. And then use your arms.
It's like almost like you have to loose.
You can just tell because it's super easy. Because when somebody's really using their arms, they're going to, say you're using your back a little bit more than I would there. So only come up to about here. So arms straighten, lift the chest, yes. And then come back down. Okay, there you go. So you don't come all the way up to stand until the last one. Okay, now we're going to come all the way up. Okay, we're going to wiggle ourselves forward. Just going to make sure I keep this open. Yeah, so that will slide, so you just kind of pick it up. Yeah, I'll show you. Almost. So I just like that. Okay. Just like a little flick. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is I want us to I want you to be able to see me when we go upside down, so we're going to start out this way. So go ahead and turn around.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to pull the swing down to our hips, not our waist, not our bladder, but our hips. Super important. So walk my mat back a little here. Okay. So now we lean forward into a forward fold. So we're going to come forward, and we keep all of our weight draping down, so on the balls of the feet. Okay? So walk your feet to about the center of the mat. Yeah, good. So now in a forward fold, hip distance, hip wide, we're going to hold on to our ankles. So our head is going to be close to the ground, way more than a normal forward fold because our heels are lifted. But what we're doing is we're learning how to retrain the posture from the hips. Most people are bending from their waist, but my waist is going to stay nice and long here. And my hips, my hip crease, it's a crease. That's where we're supposed to be holding.
Yeah.
Most people are not holding from their hip creases. Right? So now that our head is close to ground, we pull with our hands to get our chest, not our head, but our chest towards our knees. So we keep that nice flat back. You feel the difference? Does that make sense? Yeah. You can always walk your feet closer if you want to make it harder. Yeah. That's how you eat.
So like make it easier for you to go back.
Yeah. So most people will try and be in a V shape, but this is a fold. So we want to get our head as close to our toes as possible and our heart close to our knees. So then once we hang out here for a little bit and we can feel the hamstrings start to open, I like to pedal it out. So just pretend like you're walking, then one knee and then the other knee from side to side. Okay, great. The other thing that we can do is clasp our hands behind our head and pull straight down. It's another good option. Use my extra layer. Yeah. Okay, so we went over 2A. Now this is 2B, so forward folds. And then the other thing that we can do is just interlace the elbows and kind of let them hang out on the floor. This would be the easier version, right? So either holding at the ankles, pulling in, that would be the hardest. Clasping the hands behind the neck and lengthening through the cervical spine. Or clasping the elbows, just resting them on the floor. Okay, so from our forward fold, now we're going to start to extend our arms and our legs into more of a V shape in the body. So in our down dog, we're going to engage our arms like our life depends on it. So we're really spreading our fingers and grounding down. And then we pull our heels down energetically. We're not going to touch. But at the same time, we have our favorite assistant working our hips and pulling our sit bones up towards the sky. Do you know what I mean by sit bones? Those things that you normally sit on, there's leg bones there. So we lift through the sit bones as we lengthen through the back of the legs. Can you feel that? So, and
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure like on the front of the hips.
Yeah, so that's the good stuff.
Okay.
That's the free rolling session that you're getting right now. So yeah, the pressure there is the same as the pressure under the arms. It's the sensitive yin part of the body that isn't used to being manipulated in such an intense way, and your body will get used to it. But at first, because that's the bundle of lymph nerves, the lymph and nerves, that you'll really feel the sensitivity of it. So usually what I do is I start to just have people wag their tail a little bit for their happy dog, right? And just start to massage it out. If it's too much, just do little tiny micro movements, or semicircles. Just do what's comfortable for your body today. But I wanted to just show you that you can have your dog fly, right? We did this yesterday. So stay arched in the upper back, but you can actually lift your hands and come into airplane wings. And then we're going to place our arms back down. So you don't want to necessarily do like a face plant on that one, so walk your feet forward a little bit more and try it again. Yeah. So lift your chest. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah, so we just get into a position where we can hang up. Maybe we could also bring the swing up a little bit higher, but we're just working extra load to the ground, and then when we review, we're going to bring the swing up and notice the difference. Okay? Just to give people some variations, because some people will like to work a little higher.